We are the Nerdy Turtle Network.
Hello and welcome to Icons of the Wider World. Here on the Nerd Eternal Network. I'll be your GM for the day, Jason, and with me will be Curtis playing Dojo Loach, Mike playing Whipette,
Welcome to Black T-Shirt Day.
Taylor playing the Rocker. I hadn't even noticed.
Howdy.
And Zach playing the Boogeyman.
Howdy.
And let's see, I believe Dojo Loach and the Rocker are heroes we have not debuted yet. Are they our last new ones?
As far as I know.
Only, 23 episodes in? And we finally got everybody?
Yeah, but we had more than 23 characters, so it's alright.
Fair enough. A lot more stories were two-parter than we thought. Or than I had thought.
I think it's fair to flog the stubborn characters that were slow to bring, or stubborn players that were slow to bring their characters in.
You know what, you're right. Anyone that didn't bring a character in Season 1 gets flogged.
Right.
Y'all waited an entire season to bring your characters in.
Alright, well, our story today starts off in the historied city of London. Now, I had mentioned to you ahead of time that this is where we were going to be, so does everybody have a reason for their characters to be here?
Yes. At least in Great Britain.
So what brings Whipette to England?
After wandering the United States with the Jade Dragon, she has decided to continue her training and perhaps find some direction for her during her estrangement from her mother, the Rook, and her sister, Glowstick. So while they're protecting the city of Van Ness Heights, Whippet has traveled across the Atlantic to train with another person who is renowned for, renowned for being able to use a whip, or in this particular case, a riding crop. That being the Lady Erica Kilvington, who is renowned equestrian, noble-born, as the name indicates, and she's basically she's been with her. She's been she actually has started learning how to ride a horse, which is what justified the extra point in athletics for her minor achievement. And I do have plans for the character. I don't know, though. They may only come to fruition in my notes, but I introduced this character for a reason. But that's why she's in Great Britain.
All right. Taylor, what brings the Rocker to London? Or actually, him being a new character, where's the Rocker even from originally?
The Rocker is British.
I was thinking he was, but I wasn't 100% sure.
Yeah. Did you want a full introduction of him, or?
Since he's new, go ahead.
Alright. The Rocker, also known as his normal, human name, Donnie Harder, is a big fan of the punk rock movement. Big fan of it both in England and abroad. But he noticed, it was dying down. And, he decided he was going to be on a one-man crusade to make sure rock never dies. And in desperation, he made a plea out to the heavens, I know there's a lot of, gods and mystical beings and all that, is there anyone out there that will help me? And 3 people showed up. 2 of them suggesting, a deal or brokerage, more or less, where if he could accomplish a feat, rock would never die. And that feat is over 1 million people have to own his music. Which, of course, the Rocker agreed very quickly, because that's not a super hard thing to do. until he realized that every time he starts to make a CD, something goes horribly awry. Either the studio's mixing doesn't work right and it sounds horrible, or the CD printing doesn't work out, or the studio burns down. Some oddball thing keeps happening. So Donnie is now just out in the world on his own, playing shows when he can, and streaming his superheroics online to gain popularity.
All right. And our other new character for the day is Dojo Loach.
And I am assuming he is just traveling, and London is a cool city to check out. So he's not exactly free spirited, but he's not tied down anywhere. So I kind of always figured he was from maybe San Francisco area or something, but he's of an age, and so he's exploring the world. And he is quarter Japanese, but doesn't speak a word of the language, doesn't know anything about the culture, and doesn't have any interest in learning. Do not talk to him about kaiju movies. He's obviously very good at martial arts, and he's sort of on. He's a very conflicted person, and he's very much about order and justice, but he's also kind of a jerk.
Well, if he's about balancing things, you got to have the good with the bad.
Yeah. And it's possible he might be part Atlantean because he's a strange bird or strange fish because he's a street level martial arts guy with aquatic skills and underwater combat stuff.
So he is basically he's just in London as a tourist at the moment.
Right. He's not a regular. He's just visiting.
The Rocker is just kind of lives in the area or whatever. If not in London proper, plenty close enough to drive there. And I guess if you're trying to get a music career going in England, that would probably be where you'd be. What about the Boogeyman and Zach?
Well, the Boogeyman, he called into a radio station that was giving away an all-expense-paid trip to England to see the Rocker live in concert. He has no idea who the hell the Rocker is. All he knew was this was a chance for him to get the hell out of Rhodes Ferry for a nice, quiet weekend, maybe hear some good music. And he won.
So radio called. Now, did he bring his crime-fighting equipment with him?
Yes, he did. How he got it through customs is a trade secret on his part.
Well, the costume you could pretty much just bring through because they might look at you weird for bringing a motorcycle helmet, but there's nothing that would stop you from doing it.
Yeah, it's all the little chemicals and stuff that he carries around. Probably would have raised an eyebrow if they found him.
No liquids. I was listening to a guy the other day talking about trying to bring peanut butter through customs, and that's what they kept telling him. And he's like, "It's not a liquid. Open it. Turn it upside down. It's not a liquid." But anyway, so all of you are in London. The Rocker is preparing for a show at the, I believe they call it the O2 now. It was originally the Millennium Dome. But they have a concert hall there that seats 20,000, I think. It's pretty big. Boogeyman, you are... Listen, the Boogeyman is not well off, is he?
No, he's very the mid tier of poor.
For some reason, I had him fixed in my brain as Batman if Batman were broke.
Extremely broke.
He's broke man.
The newspaper people just misheard him when he said his name. So now he's the Boogeyman. Well, you got a free trip to London, but you're still having to watch your money.
Yeah.
So you are currently eating at a McDonald's. Because who doesn't fly all the way across the Atlantic just to eat at a McDonald's?
It beats haggis.
It probably does.
Jack is extremely depressed about how this tastes exactly the same as the ones back home.
And let's see, on this little map of London, that puts you about here. And yes, I checked. That is where the McDonald's is. I'm sure it's not the only one, but there is one there. But, you know, it's close by some of the...
I'll be right back.
Okay. It's close by some of the tourist sites, so yeah, it makes perfect sense. Let's see, Dojo Loach. What sort of tourist attraction in London would draw his attention?
Ooh, that's a very good question. He would certainly be attracted to the main ones in London, Tower of London, that kind of stuff, etc.
Mm-hmm. There's the big Ferris wheel.
Might be interested in a museum, but he's one of those. Like I said, he's a conflicted person, so sometimes his view of maintaining order may not be through law; it may be through organized crime too, keeping order on the streets. So he could. He might be comfortable in the seedier sides, hanging around in a dive or something.
Oh, do we have a mini for Dojo Loach? Yes, you do.
I know I had used a image of the Karate Kid, which is obviously owned by DC.
Oh, yeah, it is, isn't it?
It looks like the Karate Kid, but it's not.
It looks like it was drawn by the guy that draws the Karate Kid, but it's not. Alright, we'll grab him a temporary. I'll have him.
Yeah, I never had enough confidence in my own artistic skills to try
That's
to.
why I used, Champions Online and City of Heroes character creators.
I just found comic book images for a lot of my stuff.
Alright, and...
Oh, by the way, DC Comics, we're not making any money off of this.
No, I promise you. Let's see if I got a average dude I can throw down. He probably doesn't wear a cowboy hat. Well, anyway, while I'm searching for minis, we'll, let's see, that was Boogeyman, Dojo Loach. For the moment, we'll say Dojo Loach is, before he retreats to a seedier bar somewhere, is checking out the, I think Big Ben is around there somewhere. Maybe here?
Possible. He could even be at the McDonald's because British food or English food is notoriously bland.
It has that reputation. I don't know if that's a justified reputation or not. I mean, I've had jelly babies and they were fine.
Yeah, sure. But why do you
Black
think
Currant.
Doctor Who was such a fan of them? He didn't like
That's why
anything else.
I bought them at a Doctor Who convention over in Huntsville.
The black currant jelly babies, they taste like you just put cancer into your mouth.
I had the regular fruit flavored ones, so I don't know. Yep, this will be Dojo Loach for the day.
It's mutating my cells in my mouth.
All right, and the rocker. Oh, let's see.
Currently a placeholder image. My bad.
I've got some punk-looking guy I can use. I just passed him. I don't know if the rocker has a mohawk or not, but he will today.
There was
Alright.
every intention for him having a mohawk.
All right, so where would the rocker be?
Well, he's prepping to open for the show. You know, there's most likely a bigger band above him because he's kind of...
He's more known for a superhero wing than his music at this point.
Yeah, like he's known, you know, both online and off, because he's a superhero. He plays music, and the way he plays music draws attention. You know, there's a whole controversy of is he actually playing an instrument or is he not? We can't tell.
A couple of guys from the band that you're warming up for, basically.
Hmm.
Y'all have all gone out to lunch. There's a steak place that one of them likes. I'm blanking on the name of it, but it's close to that McDonald's.
Is it pretentious?
I doubt it, because it's over there by the big Ferris wheel, so it's probably more touristy oriented.
All right, then I'm fine with it.
So I'm figuring it's probably, you know, a middle class establishment. Let's see, so that's got Loda and Whipette. So you've been training with Lady
Kilvington.
Kilvington. I can't remember the kill part. I can't remember what came. I kept wanting to go grave, but I know that wasn't right. But so you've been training with her pretty steadily. Her estate is outside of London, but you know it's a 30-40 minute car drive away at most. So it's easy to pop down into the big city for a day when your training's over, or she gives you a day off. And she had some, she was having some guests over. So she didn't kick you out or anything, but, you know, let you know if you wanted to run around and see some stuff, you know, now'd be a time to do it.
Sure.
Had her driver drive you into town. So what would Whipette be interested in?
Well, if she's heard of the rocker and knows him to be an adventuring mask, she might be inclined to go to the concert just for that, just to check him out. Otherwise, her most likely leisure activity would be hunting for vinyl, record stores. So either option or both.
Alrighty.
Where are all her patent?
I think we've still got a very unhappy baby somewhere.
Where are the pacifiers?
Zach, tell Anna hi for us. All right.
Oh, I think he's on the hunt right now. I'm not sure he's at his mic.
That's fair. I cannot criticize. All right, you are currently... All right, so Whipette is currently poking through boxes of records at Phonica Records. Phonica. It is a record store. Let's see, is it on the map? No, it is off. It's just a little bit north of our map, like, north of this, just a little ways off the map.
Okay. 51 Poland Street.
They are currently closed. But it's also 11:30 a.m. over there, so yeah. I guess they just have it open yet. Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and throw you down at the top of the map. I know you've got a mini.
There is an image for her that you picked out graciously.
Well, I tried to make her own one of the character creators. There we go. I got the ponytail right anyway.
Yeah, it's not her real hair, by the way. It's detachable, so it doesn't get used against her in combat.
I'm just picturing a little metal plate in the back of the helmet, and it's a magnet that the hair is plugged into, and you just stick the magnet on there.
Magnet, like that.
Well, that way if they yank it, it just pops right off.
Yeah, exactly. And it's on brand.
All right. So the day's been going well. Our touristy types have been seeing the sights. Whippette's hit a few record stores before getting to this one. Rocker has been, prepping for his concert. And sorry, I keep getting distracted by noises. But anyway, so the day's been going pretty well. London's been hustling and bustling. As most of you are eating lunch, you start to hear a commotion in the streets. Not gunfire, not explosions. It's just
a commotion.
Right. You hear people talking. You see people stopping in the street and looking up. They're pointing. Some people are acting a little panicky, but it's not like a full stampede. But
I don't have to do this. I did bring my stuff.
Now, Whippet is on the other side of the Thames. Does the commotion extend that far across the bridge?
yes, it seems to be happening outside the record store.
Okay. Also,
Specifically, she notices it when some of the workers are like, "What is going on out there?"
yeah, I'll poke out and take a peek.
Okay. When you step outside, again, you got a lot of people looking up and pointing, and some people have stopped their cars and gotten out to look. Up above us, the city, there is a shimmer that sort of arcs off as far as you can see in any direction. But you can even with just your eye, you can detect something of a curve.
Up in the air or in the sky, or
Right, it's like there's some sort of shimmering effect spreading out over the. You don't know if it's the whole city or a section of the city or what. But if you look straight up, it's right above you, and you can look off to the side and see where it kind of comes down eventually.
And I guess, do we all see it, or is it just...
Yeah, anybody that steps aside and looks will see it.
And is it possible to tell where the shimmering converges or originates from?
It doesn't seem to be any more noticeable or any brighter in any particular location.
Okay, just the entire sky.
Basically.
Okay.
Well, like I said, it's a shimmering effect, but sunlight is still getting through fine. It's the sky hasn't darkened noticeably or anything.
And there's nothing apart from distracted onlookers. There's nothing untoward going on at ground level.
No, not where y'all are at.
Okay. Do we see anything like helicopters investigating or jets?
Within just a minute or two of stepping outside, you would.
Okay. Maybe Whippet's inclination might be to kind of try to head in the direction of wherever those vehicles are heading out, assuming that they're full of people who are going to be getting a closer look in case anything happens.
All right, so she's heading which way now? The direction the choppers were going, or?
Yes, the chopper.
Okay.
Yeah, towards the choppers.
All right, the first one you start following is headed towards the Thames. You notice a few others that seem to be circling an area. Sort of down, sort of this general area down here. Which is not your first time in London, so you know Buckingham Palace is over that way, and
yes.
10 Downing Street is somewhere over, I think, over in this side of town.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
So you know a lot of your government buildings are in this area, so them having people in the air to keep an eye on that part of town is not unusual. Like I said, though, the one that's not circling seems to be headed towards the Thames. Let's see. The McDonald's wouldn't have a TV going. Well, all right. The two of you in the McDonald's, what are you doing?
I'd say Jack's probably stuck his head outside.
Yeah, I was going to do the same. Stick my head out, see if I can...
All right, you see what I've described for Mike.
I just grab my backpack, sigh, go into the nearest alley, change, and start heading towards the shimmering.
All right, you start heading where?
Towards the shimmering.
Okay. Dojo Loach, give me... Let's see, I guess it would be awareness. And I don't think you have any specialties that would factor in.
No, martial arts, wrestling, and underwater combat, probably not.
No, so just give me a straight awareness.
But hey, he's doing pretty good. Not all of my characters even have specialties.
This is true. This is very true. But some of your characters don't need them.
True.
Some characters are special on their own.
So you had stepped outside. You see somebody just give a sigh. Just downtrodden life's just walked all over him. Sigh. And then he turns around and walks into an alleyway.
Oh, that's just weird.
And not too long after that, Zach, describe what the Boogeyman wears.
He wears a beaten up motorcycle helmet, a leather jacket that's been visibly patched repeatedly, and some motorcycle leathers and a Kevlar vest. Carries a baseball bat around. So, that's what you see walking out of the alleyway. Just shoulders kind of slumped, head down, bat resting on his shoulder, probably grumbling.
He doesn't sound English.
From here, should just left this stuff at home. Station.
Yeah, it might be worth noting that this is an American baseball bat, not like a cricket bat.
It has Louisville stenciled on the side.
I'm sorry, it has what?
It's a Louisville Slugger. Got that branding on the side.
Okay.
You look like you're a tourist as well.
Oh yeah, kinda. Yeah, I'm gonna be heading over there. Any idea what the quickest way over there is?
No, I was just going to follow the light. Is that right? Is that a fair description? Call the light?
It's a shimmering. It's almost like a heat shimmer, but way more noticeable. More of a like a distortion in the air rather than actually generating any light itself.
I mean, how confusing can the streets of London be? It's only one of the oldest.
You're not sure how much city planning went into the early parts of it.
City planning was right.
It's only one of the oldest cities, we've got.
Could I say that the original version was built by the Romans? And they were into some city planning, but it was also just a little military outpost, so that I think got wrecked at least once or twice. All right, so y'all pick a direction. We'll say north and start heading that way. Like I said, it's like the shimmer is like a dome almost over the city. So any direction you go, theoretically, you'd hit it eventually. But the Westminster Bridge is pretty covered up. So.
Oh, you know what? We could check our phones and see if there's anything on the news there.
Oh, true.
But, in fact, I think there should be like a superhero app called Trouble Alert.
There's a series of novels I was reading where they had something kind of like that.
In fact, I'm going to have to make a note of that for the game I'm running.
Crap. I'll have to look up the name of that book series. Because there's like 14 books or so. Because the dude was cranking them out 3 or 4 a year for several years. And then just cold turkey, nothing.
Yeah, but let's hate him for being able to crank him out that fast, period.
Yeah. But, the first
I
few were a
don't
little
know
rough.
who you are, dude, but yeah.
But the first couple were pretty rough as he was getting his start, and then they got pretty good. But it was like an ever expanding comic book universe, kind of contained in this one city. Anyway, but they had, if you registered with the government, you got a phone, a special phone with an app that you could tell them when you were on duty or off duty. You could set up, if you had a travel power, you could set up your radius that you would answer calls for a larger area. He really sat in and thought out how you would do that with modern technology. All right, but that is not here nor there. So y'all start heading north, What has the rocker been doing?
Has the rocker noticed the people staring up at the sky and everything?
It's become an issue of conversation in the restaurant, yeah.
The rocker goes, maybe it's the revolution. Puts money on the table. That should cover it, boys. Takes his steak in hand and steps outside.
So he is not a refined British citizen.
I can just see him standing outside, holding a steak.
How much these
chewing
cost?
on-
Stick on a stick.
Way too much for the cow it came from. Keeps walking outside.
It's like a 30 quid steak, which none of us in America even know what that means.
It looks up, sees the shine.
About
That
that
is-
time, a man in a motorcycle helmet with a baseball bat goes walking past you. Zach, as you're
Maybe it
walking past a restaurant, you see a fellow with a mohawk step out with a cooked steak in his hand.
Mohawk, a ripped up leather jacket, beat up black jeans with holes in it, and just holding the steak and stepping outside.
Hey, I won some tickets to see you in concert tonight. Isn't that hot? The steak. I mean, not me winning tickets to see you. I'm not trying to flirt. It's been a long life.
Or you were doing a great job of flirting. Keep at it. Now, regardless, do you know what that is? Because right now that looks like a heat wave in the sky. That don't happen around here. It normally just rains.
Dojo Loach just looks back and forth between the two of them and it's like, I really shouldn't have worn my clean uniform today, should I?
I'm wearing my clean uniform.
You should see the dirty one.
Ow. I feel a little bit better about myself now. Thank you. But I was gonna go over there and with my stick if someone tried to eat me. So you wanna come help out? I hear you're a superhero too.
Why not? I'm down for a brawl.
Awesome. Cool.
Pops his
Another
neck.
team.
Now I forget. Does the rocker actually have to have a guitar or anything with him to use his powers, or are they just inherent to him?
Part of his quirk with his curse is he can play any instrument he knows. He does not have to have the instrument to play it.
Oh, he just makes the music. Okay.
Right. He knows how to play guitar, so he basically just plays air guitar, and you can hear the guitar being played.
Okay.
He still has to play it correctly, but he does not physically have to have the guitar in hand.
Okay, that makes sense.
And you
So-
still actually have to know how to play the instrument, right? You can't just like summon the music.
Right.
Okay.
He can't just go like, pan flute, and suddenly he knows how to play the pan flute. He would have had to have learned how to play it. But then he can just kind of, he can go through the emotions and you hear the sound.
Which is where the debate comes in amongst fans as to whether or not he's technically playing an instrument or not.
Right.
So
Because it looks like he's not, but it sounds like he is.
that would make this team our first team with the soundtrack.
Because that is basically all the rocker does when he streams his superheroing.
Nothing but covers of Whipette.
Might I suggest we start with Panic in the Streets of London?
Oh, we could also do Rawhide. I'm gonna
Fellas. I hate to tell you this.
I'm not even there yet.
I have my own music. I'm a band.
You don't take requests?
I am Donnie Harder, the rocker.
Not a rocker. It's
The
The
rocker.
rocker.
Besides, if he streamed other people's music, he'd get he'd get his channel taken away.
And my 2 points.
Your harsh nemesis is
But-
YouTube.
And the
but he
Rockers
could do
no,
like a
hold
punk
on.
cover.
The Rockers 2 points in his business specialty. Tell him that's a bad idea. Because the Rocker has 2 points in business.
Wow.
Which means he knows his stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, his t-shirts sell. Or at least the shop works very nicely, and he has sold some.
You're Sid Vicious and Mushroom McClure. Who's the business person for the? I don't know. Sex Pistols. I can't remember. I'm forgetting his name already.
So anyway, y'all all head north. You had pulled out your phones to check.
Yeah, I'll check my phones.
Let's see. You're not getting a good signal, which is unusual.
The dead center of London.
Yeah, that's odd. And you notice passing a few cars, the radios seem to be very staticky. The radio is picking up enough of a signal that you can hear what people are saying and all, but it seems to be a lot of interference.
Okay, so either the shimmer, that glowy bullshit in the sky above us, is causing a lot of interference as a byproduct, or someone just doesn't want any word of this getting outside of London. Oh boy.
I think they'd notice losing contact with London, though.
Have a football team well enough, you lose contact with London. Oh, I'm sorry. Not American football.
Real
Oh, don't worry. I kept up the results of the European American Football League. It's hilarious. You guys suck at it. You can keep the kicky ball sport. Don't worry.
Yeah, you all play that cute soccer.
It's literally football. It's literally a game where the ball can only be hit by the foot. It's not your little hand egg thing where everyone gets a concussion and then no one talks about getting a concussion.
And your breaks every 3 minutes. Every 1 minute and a half, more likely.
I'm in danger now.
I can probably headbutt through the motorcycle helmet, to be honest.
The Rocker should be pretty buff, because you got, what, a strength of 6?
Yeah.
So he is like peak human strong.
Built for the mosh pits.
He's strong and he's got a lot of will.
It's a dangerous combination.
He's stout. He can survive things.
Alright. So as I said, y'all are headed north.
And Whippet's heading south, I presume. Or perhaps more east.
Probably south and east.
Okay.
To at least get you where you're properly on the map.
Yeah.
Whipette, as you're passing a car, you hear, and have you put on a costume yet, or are you still just in your civvies?
I think for now I'm still in my civvies because I don't even know that there's necessarily going to be like a threat to whip the shape. But I do have it. I do always have it on hand. In backpack.
So you're going down the street, and like other places, a lot of cars have stopped and are looking around. They're out, and people are trying to figure out what's going on. And you pass one group of people that it's a guy that actually pulled over to the side, and he's got his door open with the radio on, and other people are standing around while they're listening to a news broadcast. And like I said, there's a lot of interference, but you can make out what's being said. I remember how much more staticky the radio was a lot of times when I was younger, like when I was little. And it's kind of like that. It's just noticeable. The signal's just noticeably worse. They're talking about an attack in the north that started up a couple of hours ago. It's men on horseback in armor. They were being accompanied by a very large woman? Creature. Pretty sure it's a female creature.
And it started a few hours ago?
It started an hour or so ago. And this is well north of the city. This is they were attacking another town.
Okay.
I'm blanking on what's the next town up from England. But anyway, the Queen's Guard had rolled out, which is the well, of course, the Queen's Guard, Buckingham Palace is the big, poofy furred hat guys.
Okay. Are they super in this world, or are they just dudes in poofy hats?
You have both. Kind of like how Spear has their regular agents, and then they have the super team. The Queen's Guard is the same way. When England decided, or when the United Kingdom decided to do an official supers team, you have one based in London under the auspices of the government called the Queen's Guard. And the command structures are woven together some kind of way. It's nobody on the outside is completely sure who answers to who on the inside, but basically it's London super team. They ran north to deal with that.
And the woman who's in charge of those horsemen, how was she described?
Sometimes as a creature, sometimes as a large woman.
So perhaps a shapeshifter.
Testing.
Yes, you're back. Had we lost you?
Okay. Couldn't hear everyone, but no one was hearing me.
Ooh, that's not.
I hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay.
One person comes on the news. Let's see. That is not the right note. Dang it. I try to organize better, but it still ain't quite working.
While you look through your notes, the Rocker will go ahead and give a call to his team, to his band, and get the message across for them to let the drones out.
One of them's like, "Oh, what's going on, boss?"
Shimmer over the sky. Sounds like knights on horseback in the north. Feel like it's gonna be a good one, boys.
You hear one in the background, man, we don't ever get to do a concert.
Well, I know you boys can pull it off without me. Should, it not get canceled.
Crap, I cannot find. Alright, does anybody remember who did Whipette's villains?
Yeah. I think I do.
Okay.
Don't think I did any with Whipette's villains.
But I think I recognize...
Alright, so it may be under Mike's editions.
I think I know who this is.
Well, no, the only one of those I've got is Muck Boots Nemesis.
Oh, yeah. The character.
Oh, wait. That's because I hit Mike's. I should be hitting Curtis's.
Yeah, y'all can start hating me now.
Yeah, I had some questions about this particular one with you. Do you remember the big lady's name?
Yes,
What was her name?
Helga the Horrible.
Helga the Horrible. All right. Somebody
She
in the station drops that name.
She had a partner, too.
Yes. But they seem doubtful because that was a villainess that goes back to like the Second World War. And it was somebody they were interviewing. It was an older gentleman they were interviewing that seemed to recognize her. But yeah, she seems to be leading the forces on horseback. You know, like I said, an hour or so north of London, or north of London. It had started up an hour or so ago. So the Queen's Guard had rolled out, and that was prior to this shimmering effect going up. They're beginning to get reports of people on horseback in the city now. None of the police weapons seem to be doing much to them. Of course, your average street cop in England doesn't have a gun. Though they, of course, have, you know, I don't know if it'd be their equivalent of the National Guard, but they've got people they can roll out with weaponry when it is called for. But bullets of any kind don't seem to be having an effect on these armored figures. And they're being led by a man wearing a crown.
The police or the
armored figures on horseback.
Oh, okay.
They're destroying any police vehicles, police stations. They're wrecking anything like that they come across. There's been reports of some injuries to the citizens. They're advising citizens to stay in their house. If you're out away from home and can't get back, just board up somewhere. Get indoors somewhere where you can lock a door. These forces do not seem to be breaking into places or really chasing normal folks down or anything.
Do they seem to have any sort of a objective, or if they're not necessarily intent on terrorizing normal people, at least not pursuing them into their houses and stuff?
They are marching sort of westwardly. They are currently on Southwark Street. Apparently they crossed the London Bridge. So they're over to the west of y'all, around here. And it does not appear to be one group. It appears to be several groups of the armored figures running about. One group they spotted is on that street, and one group they spotted was being led by a man with a crown. What Whipette hears over the radio doesn't specify which group the crowned man was with.
Okay. Well, it definitely sounds like it's time to get into uniform.
Okay. In the confusion, you don't have too much trouble finding somewhere to duck into. I don't know if they still have phone booths over there, or if they've disappeared like they have over here.
They have police boxes everywhere. So.
I had heard a while back those were coming back, but I think those are also usually locked. I think the police have to have a key or a combination or something for them.
So Whipette is now with the rest of the group, right? Or are you still separate?
I think it sounds like we're still separate. Jason.
Let's see. You guys would have just traveling north would have made it to whichever bridge that is. Looks like that'd be the one bridge on this map that wasn't labeled. Huh. And I would say Whipette has probably made it to the opposite side of that bridge. So she could be cutting across the bridge as y'all pass it.
Huh.
So yeah, y'all are walking along, y'all look down a bridge, and there's a woman in full costume, hauling it down the bridge, or across the bridge.
Yeah. Dojo Loach will see Whipette and suggest that she go home with the rest of the people. She's too young for this.
Correct me if I was wrong.
You should
Whipette
say-
was in Boone's Ferry, right?
Right.
During the
Yes.
Yes.
And you depending on how tuned in you are to like global supers, however new Whippet may be, her mother, the Rook, is pretty well known.
You will know.
Yeah, she operates on a global scale, which is why she trained my sister and me to take care of the city while she's off globetrotting.
Well, it's just one of his quirks is he's a misogynistic jerk. So
No, that's fair enough. So that probably
which
wouldn't
works
matter,
better. It works best when that comes back on him and he gets the beat down. But
yeah.
Boogeyman's got to kind of nudge him in the ribs. Dude, cut that bullshit out. I've worked with him before. He's a badass. Hey, what's that? How you doing?
Yeah, she just what is that's not happening, Gilly. No. Name's Whippet, and then she is perfunctory introduces herself to the others, the ones who haven't been retrieved.
Yeah, Boogeyman obviously.
Donnie pushes a hand out. Like, whoa. Okay, we need to stop this right here. You quit being a bigot. You quit being a bigot. That ain't punk rock. All right, let's go.
Wait, which one of us is being? Are we both being bigots?
He was sexist, and you said Gilly.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's fair. That's fair. Duly chastised.
Now there's
I
a
like
problem
that.
going on, and I don't want to be a one-man show, but this keeps up. I'm heading out. Let's go.
The Team Daddy's thing there with his mohawk and disapproving stare.
Yeah, I'd say, have you heard of the Horsemen? There's horsemen galloping about and causing a ruckus.
Okay, is that like people who are horses or people who are riding horses?
Riding. There's
Okay.
I feel like
Okay,
I
I
missed an
can handle
opportunity
that.
there.
yeah, there's a
Armored horsemen,
Yeah.
and you show up and they're actually horse people in armor. Oh, I missed
yeah.
an opportunity.
Right. Damn it. Yeah, she just relayed the information she overheard. I've heard police reports. There's a couple of groups. One of them's led by a guy in a crown. There's also been a sighting of Helga the Horrible. Does that ring a bell to anyone?
Does it?
Yeah, I guess we would have to ask the GM if any of us would.
How many of y'all really keep up with villains that international villains?
I would assume Whippet does not.
How is she international as in not from America or international as in not from England?
Both.
Okay.
Helga the Horrible
Well, I mean,
is from neither.
Okay. But she was during World War II?
According to one old guy they were interviewing.
I mean, like, if she was in the war, there's a chance. Just because World War II is a big thing that happened.
Yeah,
Sure.
Jack might know who she is.
Okay, give me an intelligence rolls.
Just
See
basically,
if
if there's
you can
something.
remember anything.
Well, yeah, if there's something from like a history book, we'd just be like, oh, an old biddy from World War II.
Ooh, nice, Max.
I'm just saying that as a game master, she was a fun villain.
Alright, the Rocker don't specifically recall anything about her. Anybody else gonna roll?
I got an 11.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, I saw Boogeyman roll.
All right, nice.
Is that 4 where Curtis? That 4 where you roll for?
No, that was my first roll earlier. I got
okay,
a.
okay. Oh, you got a
I
9.
actually got a
though.
9.
All right, so our 9 and our 11. Let's see. Yeah, both of you have seen, in passing, seen things on World War II where they mentioned it. And yeah, Helga the Horrible was a Nazi experiment. She didn't have a real deep... She wasn't like one of the well-known villains of the era. The Germans really only filled her towards the end of the war. And in the aftermath, going through some of the Germans' research, it's how they found out she was an experiment. And they were attempting to perfect some kind of immortality thing. It wasn't even a weapons program they were working on. It was more of an immortality thing that the leadership was wanting. I mean, what's good's the building of an empire 1,000 years? It's going to last for 1,000 years. You're not here for all that time. But anyway, so she very badly mutated out. There have been rumors of her working as a mercenary assassin type since then, but people are up in the air as to whether or not it was actually her or not. But some supers are known to have long lives, so
Boogeyman will pass that along. Just might be this old Nazi science experiments, or it might be somebody else.
I always wanted to meet another immortal. Let's go see her.
I'm sorry, you're a what?
What?
Huh?
We're moving on.
Well, now she was leading forces that were well to the north. They were attacking another town somewhere.
No. So Helga was
Oh, so we got to deal with this random guy with the crown first. Sorry, this random bloke with the crown first.
All right, so while y'all are sitting there huddle in y'all's huddle, this kind of intersection here, or it's probably a roundabout from the looks of it. Yeah, you see like a small stampede of people go running across, basically from this side to this side.
I'll point the direction they're coming from. It's like, that way?
Yeah,
West.
probably.
Alright. I'm going to just use the Rockers Mini to show where y'all are at right now. So if you drop down here and start cutting across, you don't get very far before you see some of the armored horsemen. Armored men on horse.
I'm still picturing them as horse people now.
Yeah, I can't stop myself from doing that either. It's like the
And
old
now
Brave.
I'm totally reimagining the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
See, I'm just imagining all these guys now as what was his name? 3030 from the old Braveheart cartoon.
I'm sorry.
His horse,
What?
his horse and deputy.
Not
Oh, I mean, was that Silverheart?
the space cowboy, not
Right.
the Mel Gibson movie.
No,
Yeah,
no,
was there's a Braveheart cartoon?
no, Brave Star. That's what it was. Brave Star.
Oh, Brave Star. Okay.
I was
Because he'd ride his horse, get off, and then his horse to stand up straight and have a big shotgun. That was his deputy at that point.
I think the Mel Gibson movie would have been so much better with horse people.
What have we done?
So about this time did my drone start showing up?
Yes. They
To
zero in
videotape
on you.
it?
So everything's
Cool.
being recorded.
One drops a small box, and I hand a T-shirt to 3 people.
Random
There you go.
3 people or the 3 people with you?
The three people with me, the three powered folk. He go. Congratulations. For the day, y'all are part of the band.
We're officially groupies.
Is there a paycheck involved?
I just dropped my t-shirt. I'm like,
How much you need? He's just look at the patched up leather jacket like, how much you need, brother?
I'll
It ain't punk rock to leave one in need. What you need?
He takes out a pen, a little piece of paper, writes a number on it, hands it off to the rocker.
is that one of your qualities? Like this ain't punk rock.
Yes.
I'll put it on like under my dojo shirt. So I don't mind wearing this, but I think we've already established I'm not very punk rock.
You did something that's not punk rock. Doesn't mean you can't be punk rock. Also, for the record, all three of you are admitting now that you own these t-shirts. Just saying you won't immediately throw them away when you're done with them.
Oh yeah. I'm keeping this.
You
Don't
see
throw away
Rocker
free clothes, man.
Rocker quietly fist bumps.
All right, let's try not to get our asses kicked.
That is a superhero charge. Let's try not to get our asses kicked.
Yeah.
What? It's not a good fight unless you get your ass kicked. You just gotta kick their asses harder.
All right. The men on horseback see you. You see them kind of looking at each other. They're talking, but you don't really understand what they're saying.
Do we understand that is it recognizable as a language we might know? Like, not know, but know of?
Or are we just too far away to understand?
Are we just not hearing them clearly, or do we just not understand what they're saying? Their language.
Roll me an intelligence.
My strong suit.
Nice.
Way to go, Boogeyman.
He's smart. He knows things.
Have my moments.
Alright, so we got a 9 from the Rocker, an 11 from Boogeyman, a 5 from Dojo Loach, and a 7 from Whipette. Okay, with a 5, you're pretty sure you're hearing him clearly, you just don't know what language that is. You know, it's like occasionally there's a word that you think almost sounds like something you should recognize, but...
Wait, armor, goodbye to the crown. Are they speaking like actual Old English? Like
That's
Beowulf
what
Old
you
English?
think.
Ah, okay.
You don't
well, either that
understand,
guy-
you don't understand it, but you're listening, you're picking out a couple of words here and there. At least one or two you know haven't changed much since Old English.
Ah.
And then one of
Okay,
them points at you all and starts laughing.
You meant
They're
flips them off.
I mean, they're laughing at us.
Yes. Well, you're dressed,
They're
you're dressed in goofy
they're
costumes.
taunting us, aren't they? Oh man.
And if you come back, they will taunt you a second time. Oh wait, no, that's Fridge.
Well, that's just rude.
You man just flips them the bird.
They
don't
don't
know if they
look, they have a
understand
clue
what
what
this
that means.
I think
No,
you just swore fealty to them.
No, here, try this.
right.
Yeah, flipping the bird only go back to the 1960s, so.
Really?
Huh.
Though the middle finger being symbolic for what it's symbolic for when you flip the bird, may go back like 2,500 years. So 420. That's 423 BC. I'm gonna say that these guys don't recognize what it is. It would be borderline though. And they kind of kick their horses, and they're not at a full gallop towards you, but they're coming your way.
Not at a full gallop, though.
No. You know, I mean, it's a decent little trot, but not at a full gallop. And when you first spotted them, they were probably moving at this speed, and you know, civilians were getting out of their, jumping out of their way. So.
Well, they're disrupting order and hurting innocent civilians. It's time to start the show, I suppose. Oh, I am quite used to being the front man. So, when he points out to the cameras, let's get it started. You see him appears to be strapping a guitar that you can't see to him. He pulls up one hand. He strums down. And I'll be using an ability at the horses.
Oh, all right. What ability are you using?
Dazzle. Extra burst. Limit is I have to be performing. I've started my guitar strumming.
That's fair.
So the dazzle will be just an immediate shine after strumming down that should blind the horses. And potentially the people too.
Yeah, about to say, I believe
effect.
dazzle is since you got a burst.
Yeah, it's within a close proximity of the target, and since they're all kind of in a line.
Mm-hmm. Basically, you'd be targeting maybe the lead horse or whatever. So yeah, I'm going to say everybody in the group will have to make. In their group will have to make rolls. I'm going to say they're far enough away that your team doesn't have to. Luckily, I've got horse stats right here because I bought the PDF of the Game Master screen. It's going to be super useful.
Nice.
All right. So for the horses, and what do they roll? Strength to
Coordination. Whether it affects them.
Oh, okay, I got you. All right. So horses coordination.
Now, does my performance modifier add into this?
No, because you don't. It doesn't say you have to perform well. You just have to be performing.
Okay.
All right. So the horses. You beat them by 2.
Is that still moderate?
Let's see here.
Yeah, no, isn't that's something that's missing from the Game Master screen, isn't it? There's not a
Yeah,
that
1
you
to
would
2.
think would be there.
1 to 2 is moderate.
Okay.
Yeah, well, you've got the outcomes chart on the screen.
So the horses will be dazzled for a page.
Okay. Oh, there it is. All right. So yeah, affliction, blinding, blast, strike, dazzle. No effect. Moderate, dazzled, 1 page. Yeah. Oh, and I need to roll for the actual peoples. Their coordination is worse than the horses. But they rolled better than the horses. So they managed to kind of shield their eyes. You know, the light just kind of flashes up and they yank their shields up. It does cause them to kind of loosen up on their reins, though, and the horses not being able to see just kind of come to a stop. And there's some bumping and jostling into each other. Let's see. So they begin dismounting because they don't know how long their horses are going to be blind. So that's basically their round is basically spent getting off the horses and getting off the horses, making sure all their weapons are drawn, and then they're advancing on you more cautiously now because something ain't right. We'll go ahead and give an initiative. Let me clear the last fight off.
Well, my initiative's an 8.
Alright, so the Rocker got an 8. Whipette got a 7. Boogeyman got an 8. Dojo Loach got a 7. And my guys got a 4. Poor my guys. Descending order. Rocker, you're back up.
Well, all right then. Well, gonna go ahead and start then. Continue my performance. Anyone that's heard the music of Donny Harder recognizes this song as One Man Revolution. But you know.
But are any of you that familiar with his music?
Probably not.
I might have, if I was planning on showing up to the show to check out this rocker guy, I probably would have. I might have Spotified it.
Okay. And of course, on Spotify, nobody owns your music, so
that doesn't count.
That doesn't help him.
Yeah, I mean, his performances are, evidently very good, so probably heard a bootleg torrent or something.
Oh, yeah. Well, the quality's great on YouTube. So you don't own it on YouTube.
A bootleg, though, they would own, so that would actually help you.
I mean, technically on YouTube, I guess they could pirate the sound and download an MP3.
They could, but most people wouldn't. Because it's on YouTube, it's just always there when they want to see it anyway.
Yeah. And they technically don't own it, they stole it. Technically they didn't steal it, but they technically don't own it, so, it's in that gray area that doesn't count.
It's in that gray area that higher beings that make deals with you really like to play.
Exactly.
Alright, so what is the
By the way, we do not endorse pirating music. I don't even know how to do that.
Oh, it's super easy.
I'm kidding.
No. All right. Well, continuing his performance, the Rocker will now perform his mental blast. It's a blasting with the extra broadcast.
What does the broadcast extra do?
I'm glad you asked. Oh, hold up, let me actually get to broadcast. Your normally visual range power can affect anyone who sees or hears you.
Okay.
Now it still only targets one. It still only targets one. It only hits one target.
Mm-hmm.
But as long as they're hearing me, they can be hit.
Right, which means you could be blasting this guy through a radio or a TV or...
Right. Or around a corner, or
right here on the street with him. It makes no difference, other than he couldn't take cover from you because he's still able to hear. Now, if he poured wax in his ears like Odysseus, since yours is a hearing thing.
Well, then I would just do it without the extra broadcast. Because it's your normally visual range power can affect anyone who sees or hears you. So he'd have to close his eyes too.
Okay, gotcha. All right, carry on. So that is a willpower v willpower, I think.
Yes. Just firing at one of them with a power cord.
All right, and what is this guy's willpower? Ooh, I'm going to say one of them goes down immediately.
Ooh. Alright, well, it's only 3 damage.
This group's minions.
Alright, it's 3 damage mental, and because it's a mass success, he is knocked down, but that is it.
Okay.
Because it's a mental blast, it doesn't actually propel him a distance, he just falls over.
Yeah. So yeah, it hits him, he rocks back, he screams, drops his weapons, grabs the, he's wearing a helmet, so he just on the side of his helmet, grabs the helmet and then falls to the ground. You hear more mumbling in Old English. Boogeyman.
Boogeyman is going to burn a determination point to give myself expanding foam gadget, basically binding with a burst extra.
Okay.
Mix that up real quick and toss it into the group of knights.
Now, is that one of the gadgets you can whip out immediately, or does it take a round to cobble it together?
If I burn a determination point like magic, I can just automatically have that gadget.
Okay, so you're burning a determination?
Yes, sir.
All right, what are you tapping to burn that?
Paid attention in science class, and attention in high school chemistry like a nerd.
All right, it's got a burst, so you could potentially get quite a few of them. And then burst is, or bind rather, is, I think it's another coordination to coordination.
Yes, sir.
All right, so their coordination was only a 2, I think. So that's 1 of them, 2 of them, 3 of them, 4 of them, 5 of them, 6 of them, 7 of them. All right. So you got a 10, so that's 5 more than that guy. 7 more than that guy. 3 more than that guy. 7 more than that guy. 5 more than that guy. 7 more than that guy. 4 more than that guy. So everybody was at least a major success, which is a full hold at full material strength. How many ranks do you have in gadget?
5.
5? All right. So you've got them in a full hold, which means they can't do anything except try to escape. And they try to escape via breaking out. The material strength of that is 5, which is pretty stout. You know, for anything remotely normal, human normal.
Yeah.
Whipette.
So everyone's enveloped at this point? Who isn't unconscious? Who's still conscious?
Yes, they're all wiggling around this foam, trying to get out as the foam's hardening up.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna wait and see if any of them can actually. I don't know how strong this is, so I'll at least give the benefit of the doubt and assume they're fully secured. I'm gonna just run up to them, and I did hear what they speak, right? So I do know they don't speak like modern English.
Yes.
So as it were, yeah. So yeah, I think. Are there any police nearby who may be unconscious or need tending to?
Give an awareness roll.
That generated an 8.
You do see an officer over slumped against one wall.
Okay. Is he still alive?
You won't. Let's see. I'm assuming you run over there and check him.
Yes.
Yeah, when you go over there and check him, he's bleeding pretty bad, but he is still alive.
All right.
When you get there, he's barely conscious, and he is
Okay.
he's trying to hold some cloth, up against the wound, but he's getting he's getting loopy. He's obviously lost some blood.
All right. I'll go and say here. Let me take care of that, and then she'll ask. She'll gesture towards his radio. Or his. I think he said he, right?
Yeah.
And ask, may I? Assuming they haven't called in for reinforcements or whatever.
I'm sure he's got some radio.
Okay, yeah. As long as he doesn't stop me, I'll just go ahead and make a call to police. And I've been here for a little while, so I'll assume that I've probably made at least one appearance as Whipette. That might be known to be a visiting super. And just report that that one of the groups of horsemen's been neutralized by I guess a ad hoc team of supers. That's how I'll describe this. And also keep all the while. Well, I guess I'm focused on taking care of this. This
calling down the radio and stabilizing this dude is probably gonna be all you can do this round.
Yeah, so I won't be able to keep an eye on to see if anyone escapes from foam yet. But there's other supers. The rest of y'all can take. Can that role in.
They're a little surprised to hear you at first because it's a clearly American accent over their police radio.
Sure.
But before they can really start chastising you for being on the police band,
right.
They get what you're telling them. They are emergency services are kind of overrun just at this moment, but they're try to get some medical help over that side, as well as somebody to pick up the people you've disabled. They're glad to hear there's a team of supers.
I know what I should be doing
under the dome because they're like whatever that shimmer is, people can't get through it. So the Queen's Guard is stuck outside the city. So the Queen's Guard is outside the city. There's a team from Edinburgh that have come over. They can't get through.
A team of supers from Edinburgh?
Yeah. Well, maybe not a team of a couple of supers from Edinburgh. The way he says it makes it sound like they're probably independents from over there.
Well, I think we can. We'll do what we can. We'll do what we can here. And it just occurs to Whipette that next chance she gets, she's going to try to see about corralling in all those horses. I've been training. I've been learning animal handling, so I can do that now.
Oh yeah.
You did mention that.
But they also tell you they've got reports of a group crossing the Westminster Bridge. So he's like, obviously they can't give you orders, but if you wanted to swing down that way, that's getting over there close to some of the government buildings. I mean, and some of the big landmarks, but so far you haven't heard any reports of the horsemen really damaging, maybe breaking in shop windows or something, but not really damaging anything around the town.
Okay. First chance I get, I'll yell out that to the rest of the team.
Okay. Dojo Loach.
Now we didn't disable all of the. They're now men because they got off their horses, so right. I guess we shouldn't call them horsemen.
Unhorsemen.
They're unhorsemen, but they're not all down, are they? We didn't.
One is clearly unconscious. All the rest of them are in the foam. They haven't got to go yet, so you don't know if the foam's actually going to hold there for any length of time.
I may hold my action and see if any break through.
Okay. So basically, if one manages to slip out of the foam or break his way out, that's when you're going to rub and pop him.
Yeah, and there's no sense in me jumping into the foam and getting myself tangled in it either.
That's fair. And the knights go right after Dojo Loach. Alright, so all they can do is try to escape. Let's see. I haven't got what's on this thing memorized, but the... Alright. So the individual actions in combat are not... Let's see. There we go. Actions. Because I tabbed that page. Escaping. Alright. Alright, so Zach, give me a D6 plus 5 for your binding, and that will be the difficulty for them to escape using their prowess or strength, whichever is higher. Alright, so they've got to beat a 6. Let's see. And their strength and prowess are the same, so that doesn't really matter. Let's see. A failure or marginal success has no effect, so that guy is still held. Alright, so that is out of 7. That's 1 still held, 1 is free. Or, let's see. Oh, excuse me. That has gone from, he's gone from a full hold, since he only beat you by 1, he's gone from a full hold to a partial hold. Meaning he could take a swing at people if they come at him now, but he still can't actually move as far as traveling. Alright, so that was 2. Still held. Partial. 4, 5, 6, and 7. Alright, so 4 of them are still completely held. 3 of them have managed to reduce it to a partial. So what Dojo Loach sees, or what everybody sees, is 4 of them are still stuck fast. 3 of them have worked their way about halfway out. You know,
Okay,
they've still got legs trapped, so they're not completely out yet, but their arms are free now.
Okay. Are they close enough to each other that I could use fast attack and attack 2 of them?
Oh, certainly.
Okay. Then I shall target 2. Just try to knock them out.
Okay.
I've got my my aura for the.
What is that? The fist of the something?
Yeah, lightning fist of the Loach. Does that take a turn to turn on, or is that an automatic thing?
Auras. I think auras are just on when you want them to be on.
Couldn't remember.
I mean, certainly
exactly.
you had a round where these guys were running up that if you wanted to spark up, you could, even if it took a round.
He goes twice.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything about how to turn it on, so it's just on when you want it to be on, and you can turn it off at will.
Dang.
Oh, right. All right. And that would be their prowess. Oh, well, it don't matter what they roll. One rolled minimum and one rolled max, and it doesn't make the slightest bit of difference. Well, no, I take that back. It's a massive for the first guy, and only a major for the second. So, but they're minions, so either way, they both take some damage and they go away. And I'm going to assume that was two of the partially held ones.
Right, right. No sense attacking the ones that are held. I just didn't want any of them getting out.
And then it's the rocker again.
So, who is the least held out of the minions left?
That one.
Cool, thanks. Yeah, I'll just run up and strike him with my guitar, with my quote-unquote guitar.
So you basically run up and El Kabong him with a guitar that nobody can see.
Yep.
And it works.
Because using the guitar as a weapon is a performance. People smash guitars all the time.
Fair enough, fair enough.
It's still part of what a guitar can do, so I can still do it without one.
Hey, I got a buddy whose dad used to be a cop up in Paducah, Kentucky. And you had Ike and Tina Turner come through. And during a performance, somebody down under the stage reached up and grabbed her ear.
Uh-oh.
And Ike didn't miss a beat. Just the guitar just went up over his head and wham!
Wow.
And then right back to play.
Wow.
Pops was like, yeah, we drugged the guy out. You know, he was drunk, of course. But we drugged that guy out, and then he roused up just enough to, take a swing at one of the officers, the largest officer on the force, who promptly hit him and knocked him up under a car, and we had to drag him back out.
Oof.
He goes, I often wondered if he woke up the next day and thought it was worth it. All right, so you're El Kabonging somebody with an invisible guitar. This I want to see. Or not see. That would be his coordination. Or his prowess, excuse me. All right, so that's a major success. So that'd have a chance of slamming him or stunning him. I'd have to check to see which. Regardless, but it does damage, so he goes away.
Yeah, he gets hit by my strength +1 for it being a striking, bashing attack.
So when you swing your invisible guitar, you hit like somebody with low-level super strength.
I mean, 6 is enough to pick up a car. That's pretty high super strength.
True. In these, in the rules, they count that as peak human, but that's a little higher than. You look at the weight thing. It's like, okay, at 5 you pick up a motorcycle. That's basically Captain America in the movies. So
What I always picture it is not picking it up so much as you're flipping it over.
Right.
You're not lifting it above your head.
But anyway, that guy goes down. All of you see him just swinging this, like he's holding the guitar. You don't see anything. You certainly hear the kabong when it hits, though.
I was going to ask if there was a twang.
You're going to have to retune that thing after this fight.
Boogeyman.
I'm just going to go... was the one he hit still up, or...
No. All the partially hit, all the ones that had worked their way halfway free are now unconscious.
I'm just going to go with the one who's partially held, or still held, and just pop him right on the head with the bat.
Okay. Just walk up and whack 'em all.
That's relief.
Don't call me Batman.
All right, he goes out. The other three start saying something. They're just repeating it. Then one of them stops and starts saying something in what you think may be Latin. It's still just one word that he's repeating though.
Oh.
maybe 2 words.
I have a feeling they've given up, guys.
Yeah.
Do we know what they're saying?
Sounds like they're praying. Well, I mean, if I can hear it.
No, if you don't speak Old English or Latin, you don't have a clue.
I made no Latin.
Or actually, let me.
I probably went to private school. I almost certainly went to private school.
Let's see. Yeah, surrender in Latin is different enough you might not recognize it.
Deditionem.
Would you like us to surrender?
Yeah, that'd be funny if you like, this is your last chance. We have you right where we want you.
And Google doesn't want to tell me what surrender was in Old English.
Wow, that's just
Yeah.
rude.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Latin's a dead language too, but it had it. All right. But yes, they're clearly surrendering. A little bit, within just a minute or two, some police begin showing up. You hang around just long enough for them to start chipping one of the guys out, and as soon as his hand with the sword is free, he releases the sword. So yeah, apparently they've decided to give up. You guys are too weird for them.
Sorcerers.
Demons.
I'd like to round up the horses.
While you're waiting on the police to get here, you have no problem gathering the horses.
I'd actually like to mount one of them, and just basically play cowgirl and kind of corral the rest of them, and then just get them to trot towards my new compatriots and just say,
It's a very simple, very oddly styled saddle, in your opinion.
Okay, like something that doesn't look.
Does it have stirrups?
Actually, that was
Because if it doesn't have stirrups, you're going to have trouble. Because I'm betting you're trained on stirrups.
Yeah, I'm betting I am too. Yeah, I guess that was.
I don't think the old Roman style saddles had.
Yeah, wasn't that a Mongolian innovation, or am I
May have been, because they were very, very good with horses.
Who invented stirrups?
Too bad we can't interrogate our unhorsemen.
Yeah, it looks like it's a China thing. Yeah, really. Well, I can do what I can, and if I can actually swing it.
Well, okay, they start showing by Wikipedia. They start showing up in the 6th or 7th century AD in Europe.
Okay. These saddles do not have stirrups.
Oh, okay. If I'm still able to more or less effectively ride them, I'd like to kind of corral them so that they're all traveling continuing to travel as one flock, and then basically then I just go up to the other heroes and say, "There's another band. There's another band across Westminster Bridge, getting into the government buildings. Shall we saddle up?"
Might as well before they kill anybody if they haven't already.
Let's do it.
Hey,
All
Rocker,
right.
do you know Carmina Burana?
Did you repeat that?
Rocker, do you know the Carmina Burana?
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, that's if you heard it, you recognize it. It's like the da, 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 that,
Oh,
yeah.
Closest thing I know to that's the Kama Sutra. So no.
It gets used a lot. It was used in Excalibur. It gets used a lot. It used to get used a lot in like medieval action movies or trailers.
All right. So do our brave heroes load up on the horses?
Yep.
all for it.
All right. Everybody, give
Although-
me coordination. If you have athletics, you may use that.
Can I just run with a strength of 6? I don't want to try to ride a... Falling off a horse ain't punk rock. I'll burn a determination point for pick up the pace and run as fast as a horse.
All right.
I never expected to come all the way to England to play cowboy.
Oh yeah.
All right. Y'all needed to beat a 4, so everybody that made the roll has beaten it.
Beat with style. Whippet's up. Look, Whippet looks totally badass right now.
Am I allowed to burn a determination point and use the quality pick up the pace to just run as fast as a
Yes,
horse with
that's
my strength of 6? Thank you.
He just kind of goes, nope, turns and just takes off running down the street where he needs to go, and the horses are keeping up with him.
Nope. Where are we headed? All right.
So y'all go back the way you came. You cut across the roundabout there, down York Road, and then straight across the Westminster Bridge. Pretty sure that's the West. Yeah, because that's the Westminster Underground Station there. As you ride by, you literally have people on the streets kind of going, but some of them are pointing a direction to you. Like they're not even asking you who you're looking for. It's just, yep, they got to be after those guys. They went that way.
Thank you, citizen.
You hear at least one person you do that to. You hear them as you ride. Was that a yank?
This is what you get for stealing all our superhero movie roles.
Try to move all y'all around. On an account that doesn't have the right to move y'all
I'm
around.
not sure I can. I tried messing with my token and I couldn't move it. But...
I made an adjustment a minute ago. See if you can move it
Okay.
now. Because I clicked for it to represent your character. And let me.
Yeah, I got control of them now.
Okay. Not that the map we're using is super tactical anyway, but
Still,
it's the principle of the thing.
Makes it more fun.
All right. You get to one intersection, and somebody there shouts at you that those knights they split up. It's like it's like one of them was one group was headed towards Buckingham Palace. And I forget exactly where number 10 is at, but or 10 Downing, but basically somebody else was heading towards the Capitol building.
Sounds like it's time to split the party.
You could choose to do
it's a
so.
lot easier in the States because the White House is in the Capitol. That's just right.
Supposedly the party is much more acceptable in the superhero genre than in the fantasy genre.
All right, note to self: when I type in an address, add London, so it doesn't show me where the local. It's like the town 10 minutes down the street has a street named that, and that's the one that came up. So. Let's see. That's Big Ben up there. So basically, at that intersection that I've got all of you sitting on currently. Scoot y'all down. Basically, it was right there that some of them started heading down this road, which could lead towards Buckingham Palace, though it's still a ways off. And then up this way, just right around this general area is where the 10 Downing Street is.
Well, the capital's closer.
Is there any indication of where Crown Guy is?
Let me give a roll for this random citizen, and we'll see if he was able to notice specifically which one that went for. All right, so that's the difficulty he needs to beat. Let's see. He tied it. He tells you he remembers seeing a guy in a crown and a woman in a hood. But he doesn't remember which one went with which group. You know, they both went with a separate group, but he didn't know which one. He doesn't recall which one went where.
No.
You know, he just kind of saw the group splitting up down those streets as he ducked into a shop.
Oh,
Then he sees the Rocker's drones and wants to know if he's on the internet.
Oh. Is he a fan?
You can be if you want to.
You know, I was going to say he looks like a 60-year-old, but Punk's been around a while, so... You don't know if he's a fan. Clearly he recognizes the Rocker.
People that would be, 60, 70 years old now.
Clearly I need to stop being ageist. That's not punk rock.
Bigotry ain't punk rock.
Alright. So, are we splitting the party, or are y'all going one way or the other? The Capitol building is closer. It will take them a while to get all the way to Buckingham.
I say we stick together and just head towards Capitol building.
Okay. So y'all going to head north to defend 10 Downing Street. As you get there, there are some military types out, contemporary military types, and they've got the little MP5s they use. I forget what they tend to use over there, but I mean they're sparking the knights up, but the bullets don't seem to be doing anything.
What are they shoot? Are they shooting at horsemen or
Yes.
the knights?
Yeah.
Does nothing to knights.
Do anything to the horses?
We made quick do with them, but evidently the bullets that the police, the military are using.
In some of the reports, you had heard something about the modern weapons or the weapons the authorities were using didn't seem to be having any effect on them.
I'm gonna go ahead.
Wonder if this is some magic effect that they're immune to modern weaponry. But then again, the
just like the military to waste money doing something that don't work and then keep doing it.
Fucking right.
Hate these guys.
As you approach, you see a woman on horseback, a little bit apart from the battle. She's not doesn't seem to be involved in the battle. She's just sitting there, in a fairly old, historical-looking dress. She's got a hood pulled up. You see a little red hair spilling out of it. And I say she's looking on, but she seems to be appears to be wearing a blindfold.
Huh.
Interesting. I think she's our target.
Look at those soldiers hacking up those. Look at those knights hacking up those soldiers. Let's go punch the blind woman. Clearly, she's the one that shouldn't be here.
Well, shall we move in, guys?
Indeed.
This show started.
Alrighty then. There's no surprise. You're coming from far enough back that everybody notices everybody. Do you want to just keep the initiative from the previous order?
Yeah,
Got no problem with that.
All right. So let me just give a quick roll for the lady. Let's see, what is her coordination? Oh, not bad. All right, so she goes on a 9.
Let's hope she speaks modern English.
Do you speak English? Oui? Well, it
So we
appears,
definitely.
it
yes,
appears to
we
be
do
modern
speak
French, but none of us speak modern French, so it doesn't help. Let's see. It appears that the lady goes first. Oh, let's see. She'd already have that going. She's on the other side. She moves. She kind of, kicks her horse, and it kind of trots over where the fighting's going on. It kind of trots around to try to put the most of the fighting between the two of you. Well, between her and you. And it obscures your view of her a little bit, so you're not really sure what she's doing. But she's not pointing a weapon at you. She doesn't seem to be drawing a weapon. And then it is the Rocker's turn.
Well, I hate to do a repeat performance, so I'm not going to start the show the same way I started the last show.
Cool.
So I'm just going to jump on in there with a good old guitar bash. To start the show with a guitar bash on this one.
Alright, who are you bashing?
One of the random knights attacking.
Okay. So that is their prowess, which I believe is a 3.
Oof. I'm in on roll, though.
Yeah, okay, I was thinking the wrong one. Yeah, prowess is a 3, so plus 3. And you tied. And I mentioned it on the Discord, but I will mention it here too, just in case anybody comes by and watches and thinks that's not how they were doing it the last 2 years. On an attack action. A marginal success, which is basically a tie, a 0, deals half the attack's damage.
So half of 7.
Right. I had all this time only been looking at the chart, the baseline chart in the outcome section. I didn't notice that until I bought the GM screen. It's like, oh. All right, so so he still takes some damage, and being a minion, that still puts him out. So that is 1 night down. Next up is the Boogeyman.
I'm just gonna take the another vial of the expanding foam stuff I mixed up and try and toss it right into the middle of the nights.
Because you're all about reruns.
If it works, it works. Oh, that's not as exciting as the number was before.
Alright, this is their coordination. So you beat him by 3, so that's a major success. And a major success on a binding is a full hold at full strength.
Nice.
Alright, so that is... So 1 is KO'd, and 1 is held in a full hold. Dojo Loach.
Did his foam catch everybody, or are there some out of the foam?
Oh, that's right. I have to roll for everybody. I'm sorry. I was rolling. I was thinking of it
You're
as a
fine.
direct. All right, so that was 1. So all right. They needed to beat an 8. And not a single solitary one of them rolled an 8. Now some of them only got a moderate. So all right. So the 6 and the 7. All right. So 2 of them you got a partial hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's about 10 of them here total. So yes, all of them got hit by the foam. 2 of them only have partial holds, and the rest are fully held.
Okay, I will. If the 2 that have partial holds are close enough, I'll smack both of them.
Okay, go right ahead.
If not, I'll do a combined effort. Well, I don't really need to do a combined effort on one. But...
Let's see, that's their prowess. They're out. Whipette.
Be right back, guys.
Okay.
So the remaining knights are fully encased, so that means their swords are contained within the foam. Is that correct?
Right. I mean, some of them you can see the top part of the blade is poking out of the foam, or maybe it's just encased to their arm, but they're fully held. Their arms aren't free. They can do nothing but try to get out of it.
Okay. And the hooded lady, is she wielding a weapon?
No, she does not appear to be. She's just holding her reins, or she was holding her reins when she first walked around. Moved her horse around behind the soldiers.
Okay. Here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to see if I could use my whip to entangle one of the sword hilts that are still visible, and then use the whip to fling the sword towards the hooded lady. what would I need to roll for that kind of maneuver?
Let's see.
And hopefully, I can do this without accidentally cutting the foam and releasing.
All right, it'd be a grab maneuver. We'll give you basically range with it because you're using the whip.
Okay.
Let's see. It's the lower of your prowess or strength against the opponent's strength level.
Okay, I've got the precise strike next, so I can basically just use my coordination for prowess attacks. So
okay.
I'll just go ahead and use the coordination for that.
Is your strength lower than your coordination?
Oh, strength. Oh,
yeah, it's prowess or strength, and you have to use the lowest.
I got you. It is, in fact. My strength is only a 3.
All right, so that's what you'd have to roll. Their strength is a... They've only got a 3 strength, but the foam is a strength 5, and you're basically having to break this out of the foam.
Oh, I see.
So
that's a good point. Maybe...
I mean, that's only 2 higher than yours. The dice rolls will make all the difference.
Yeah,
but you know about how strong that foam is, so she might strategically realize it's not the best thing to do.
Yeah, maybe I'll just go for. I might just try to. If I can get close enough to the hooded lady, I might just try to grab her, like just ensnare her in the maybe bind. Try to snap my whip around her hands to kind of like bind her hands together.
Okay.
I think that might be the way to do this. So, and I've got I have binding as an attack. So I think in this case, I can use the whip, the binding strength instead of my own strength, because that's what I would have.
Well, binding is a separate power that the way you usually buy it. So, though it may still be coordination to make the hit.
It is according to by the way the binding rule is written.
Yeah,
and
it'd be versus the binding for her to try to escape it.
Yes, so I'll go ahead and do that and generating the whip attack. Here we go. I've got a 13.
Oh, that's probably gonna be difficult. Let's see. So her coordination is not super impressive. It's fine for an average person. Alright, so you beat her by 5. Pretty sure that's a massive success.
And I also shouted for her to stand down. This fight is over.
So yeah, she's sitting there. As you get an angle to hit her, you can see she was moving her hands in some fashion. But yeah, your whip whips around her wrists, and they're holding them together.
Yeah, I was wondering if she might be like some sorceress type. We'll find out.
Let's see. Then it's the Knights go.
They're not going anywhere.
Zach, give me a D6 plus 5 roll.
Not a problem, sir.
And they will use their massive strength of 3 to try and break out. Let's see, how many of them are held? 7 of them are. That may have been too many. Alright, so the 8s are ties. And a tie on an escaping does nothing. So the 2 9s go from full holds to partials. And as they're doing that, you notice several of the soldiers have dropped their guns and pulled knives
Mm.
and are kind of running up to the soldiers now, or running up to the knights now. To their credit, they don't just run up and immediately stab the guys.
Well, we're in London. They probably have billy clubs.
These are not typical police. These look like actual military.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
they have.
You know, if it was the U.S., I'd say they had pulled to their K-bars, but I don't know what kind of knife they may have over there. I'm sure it's something similar. So very quickly, the remaining soldiers, or knights rather, struggling their way out, have knives kind of held up under their helmets, and a couple of little nicks to basically demonstrate that knives work even if bullets don't, and the fight kind of goes out of them. And, you know, one at a time, they kind of peel them out and shackle them good. While that is going on, the lady is going to try and escape. As, you know, anybody would that had their wrists whipped together. And it is prowess or coordination or strength or prowess strength, I think. Escape the hold with prowess or strength. All right. Versus the 5 ranks that you have in binding.
6. The 5 is my actual strike attack when I just try to hurt people.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And I'll roll my whip strength. Or do I make a total, or is it just? Are you testing just against the 6?
It's a D6 plus the amount.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Oh, that's my second 6. I'm rolling well today right now. Wow.
All right. Her strength is actually better than her prowess. All right. She stays firmly held.
Does she respond to my demand to stand down?
Oh yeah, I mean there's a little yanking of the wrist, trying to get her wrist free, but you know she pretty quickly realized, okay, that's not going to work. She seems to settle down and is just sitting there.
Okay. So no indication of what form of the Queen's English, or which Queen's English she speaks.
No, she hasn't spoken to you.
Okay.
Everything starts to settle down. Someone of slightly higher rank, you know, than the rest of these soldiers, comes up and thanks you for your assistance. They don't know what was going on. But, you know, literally, we were shooting them, and it wasn't ricocheting off. There wasn't like sparks, like they had some kind of, you know, some kind of super armor or something. It was like the bullets were just never actually touching them, or were just dropping to the ground, or something. They don't know what was going on.
Are we still under the dome?
Yeah, that is still going on.
Okay.
If you mention it to the lieutenant, we'll call him. He says it seems to be covering the majority of the city. You know, I mean, it's you know, a hemisphere dome, and London is not a perfect circle, so there's bits on the outside, but.
Well, on to the next problem.
Yep.
Right. The king is
God save the Queen.
So
That is punk rock.
He looks back. Kings and queens are not punk rock. Continues on.
They are kind of the establishment. Punk is kind of anti-establishment. So.
Well, I mean, but that's a
Yeah,
classic punk rock song.
Yeah,
God
or-
Save the Queen.
Fascist regime.
She ain't no human being.
So the hooded lady is basically just surrenders. She doesn't put up a fight, I guess.
She's a blind lady. What is she going to do?
Who is she? Can we? Will she answer us if we?
Are you going to walk up and ask her?
Yes. Who are you? What is this about?
I am Mildred, and it's about kicking the usurping family out.
A whole city?
Wait, punk rock, the rocker, chipping quick. By kicking that family out, are you establishing another ruling family?
Well, we're re-establishing.
That ain't punk rock.
What? She just seems...
Okay,
Your phrasing just has bumfumbled her. What?
like, did you come through like a time portal, or did you guys freeze yourselves? Or are you just really dedicated to aesthetic? That's what I'm wanting to know at this point.
We're in fair extremists.
Finally, they're making their move.
She's like, no, we came here on boats. What?
I suppose. Can I try to? Would I have any knowledge of any Mildreds in Royal British history?
Probably not. I don't know of any off the top of my head.
I don't have any specialties. I don't know if I don't know that Whippet would be entitled to an intellect roll, but if she is, she'd like to take it.
The rock girl once again. Ma'am, do you know what country you're in and what government style this country has currently?
There was a Henrietta Mildred back in the 1800s. That was an English lady.
I'm assuming that's not her. This isn't her.
Probably not. All right. What was it? What was the rocker's comment to her?
If she knew where she was and what government, the place she's in has.
Well, we're in Londinium, or London as they call it these days.
All right, at least you know it's these days.
Oh yes. It's been quite some time since it was called Londinium, but well, where I live there, quite old-fashioned. And we know they still have a queen, as well as a parliament. And
The royal family are mostly just there as an expensive tourist attraction, right? Have very little actual political power.
That wouldn't immediately result in us revolting against them and,
She
drawing
chuckles.
and quartering them.
She chuckles. They would like you to think that.
Oh.
Well, I mean, magic, other than magic stuff. Magic stuff is magic stuff. They might have that.
Actually, Parliament cannot debate anything without the Queen's permission to this day. During the, I think it was the Afghanistan, it was Iraq, Afghanistan, one of those wars, there was something going on that, Queen Elizabeth didn't let them debate it. If you actually look at the paper, as far as like on paper, they've still got an awful lot of their authority if they ever felt like using
It's
it.
mostly
The trick
mostly
is,
Norm.
if they started using it, what would the British people do?
Yeah, a
Right.
lot of that is,
Queen
you do
Elizabeth-
too much of that, there's going to
Queen
be
Elizabeth
revolts.
literally has a squad of public relations people that check. If there's something she thinks she wants to do or needs to do, she has all these people that go out and check to see, well, what would the reaction to that be? She could technically walk in and dissolve Parliament if she felt like it. All that is on paper.
Right.
But
How
whether
well
or
it
not
would
people would
actually
actually
work
follow
with the
through on it.
Yeah, would the military actually fall in behind her, since all their oaths are to her? It's The British nobility on paper they set it up pretty nice for themselves actually, but it's just how much of that would in practical application would actually work if they tried to use it. Anyway, this lady Mildred is clearly of the opinion that they're ruling. They've just set up a layer between themselves and the commoners to take any blame for anything that goes wrong.
No.
But the troops with her were clearly being sent here to secure some of the other important officials. So
right. Wait a minute. Yeah, maybe it's. So this is the 10 Downing area, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We better get ourselves to Buckingham. That's where the rest of them are, right? Including Crown Guy.
Well, there are apparently troops all over the place.
Okay,
but as far as the ones that crossed Westminster, yes, a big group crossed Westminster. This little squad came up here, and the rest of them are apparently headed towards Buckingham.
Oh. No. Do you want to head over there next, or does it seem like the soldiers have this under control now?
They have secured all the knights. As you're talking to Mildred, they come up, they handcuff her. They get the cuffs on her before they unwrap your whip. But,
right.
but one of them unwraps it and basically hands it back to you. Thank you, ma'am, or miss. Thank you, miss. You've still got all these horses sitting around.
Yeah, the rocker would like to say one last thing to Mildred.
Okay.
No. I'm all for, the removal of people who shouldn't be in positions of power. But you did walk into a country with a lot of innocent people with an army with no declaration for the innocent people to get out of the way. That ain't punk rock.
Our soldiers were under orders not to harm civilians or not to harm the peasants as long as they, as long as they weren't being attacked by them. Now, when the town guard interfere,
You made no declaration and just marched a bunch of troops in a place. That's when people like us get in the fight.
Small armies have to fight big armies smart. Do you know nothing of military tactics?
Which one of us won?
Oh, this battle is far from over.
Whose side would I have been on had you protected the innocent?
We've done the innocent no harm.
Why do I get a feeling that your guys' end goal involves like a castle that's gonna have a bunch of waxed heads on spikes on the ramparts as warnings to your political enemies? I'm just saying.
Assuming the usurper queen, surrenders. No, we're not planning anything grotesque like that.
Let's just go.
Not the Babylonians or the Assyrians. That was that kind of their thing.
Old are you?
Well, I've studied history.
I was kind of hoping
Wait a minute.
I was kind of hoping you were immortal and old.
Are you not even a time traveler? Wait, what year did you come from?
Oh, I was born in 1642. But I've been living in Avalon for some time.
That's old. That's old enough to be quasi-immortal.
So you've been living there now?
One doesn't age in Avalon.
Avalon. Okay, Avalon's real. Good, adding that to my note.
When was the last time, other than today, you've been on this side?
A few decades back, we had a small ritual at Stonehenge. I didn't have a chance to dally in any of the major towns, though.
You should really, really reconnect and understand what's going on. When you get a chance to, kiddo. Alright, let's keep moving. There's other places that are being attacked.
Yep.
As we're on our way to Buckingham Palace, I'll ask the rocker, is watching the news punk rock?
Staying informed of what's happening is always punk rock. Believing everything you hear when people are paid to say it is not punk rock.
Alright. So y'all get about down here. And see where's a good place to put that. So of course Buckingham Palace is basically right there, I believe. I'm not zoomed in far enough on this map for it to have actually shown up,
But it's somewhere in the garden.
well, I remember it being in this corner, and it's most of that corner. This is a very large building, or the walled-off area and all that. Let me throw down the folks what need thrown down. So you got some of these guys here. Some of these guys over here. Some of these guys over there. And that guy there. I'm going to very briefly zoom my map way in so you can actually see the tokens. Because I did not otherwise make a, well, crap. That's what I get for using a browser I ain't familiar with. So yeah, if you zoom in on the token, you can get a good picture of the guy in the crown. I should have made him a handout that I could just flashed up there of kind of the full him. But he's also in armor, sword and shield, where the rest of them are wearing helmets. He's got the crown. His armor is much fancier and more, it's inlaid with gold and whatnot. Dark hair, full beard, And it looks like they have laid waste.
Wade laced. Got it.
Yes, they've defeated everyone and are lacing them up now. Basically, it's like you'd had a bunch of troops roll out. It's like when everything started up, you just had troops around Buckingham Palace. A lot of them are laid, or just have been laid low, though. When you get there, the fellow in the crown is...
Has anyone been, straight up murdered?
Yes, there are bodies. Does not appear to be civilians, per se, but yes, there's definitely bodies.
Yeah, but the stream cuts out and it's like, due to the fact of gore, this cannot be shown.
This would be
So
improper.
the stream is down.
Are you still recording and just not streaming it?
Yes, it will still be recorded, but since it, one, defies terms of service, two, it's just gross, and people don't want to see that. Like, there are people that don't want to see it, so we're not going to flash it up in their faces. It's not punk rock.
Fair enough. All right.
If modded weapons aren't working, do you have a way to check your stream and see if you were actually broadcasting?
Buddies in the band would have called me if the broadcast was down.
If the phones are still working.
And I could just check my own stream on my phone. We live in an era of technology.
Your phone's not getting the best connection in the world. It's like there's a lot of interference or something. From what you can tell, the stream seems to be going through fine, though. But your drones be broadcasting back to them, and they probably got an actual physical connection, landline, or not landline, but like a cable connection or whatever. It looks like they're getting ready to bust down the gates to get in as you're showing up. One or two, or a few of the knights seem to be acting as scouts. So as soon as you're approaching, they alert you. Are you still running, or did the rocker finally give up and get on a horse?
Rocker's still on foot.
You're now glistening.
Gotta run off that steak.
Have you finished eating the steak?
Yes, I have been done with the steak for a little while.
He's running with holding the steak in his mouth.
I'm just imagining the first fight, he just holds the steak in his mouth, starts playing. So anyway, as you're approaching, a bunch of the knights kind of wheel around. You see the guy in the crown. As you're coming up, he addresses you like Mildred. He seems to be speaking modern English without too much trouble. Though you did hear him giving commands in Old English. So these are the modern. Are these the modern defenders of the city?
Defenders of what?
He's called you the modern defender. Are these the modern defenders of the city?
Of this what? Why does it keep cutting out the last word?
City.
Okay, thank you.
I don't know. I'm not having any issues, but anyway. And he got a pleasant smile on his face.
I'm just a tourist, but yeah, we've done a pretty good job of kicking your guys' ass so far, so yeah.
My men are just men, given a second chance. I'm assuming you're some of the powered individuals that roam around, given your interesting stylings of hair, and he really gives Whipette kind of the up and down. So
okay, so
mighty tight, and it covers everything yet reveals everything.
Oh, for the record, I however skin tight the uniform in the illustration seems to be, I kind of envision more of like a. I really should get this illustrated. I should get a commission to illustrate this at some point. But it's really more of like a all black, like not really suit and vest, but it's more like actual like regular clothing, but definitely with the mask and the.
Okay, so it's not your typical superhero.
It's not Catwoman. Yeah, it's not Catwoman.
Okay, that's good because she really came out looking like a dominatrix, which was not where I thought anybody involved was trying to go.
And she's still 17.
Well, this guy's ancient. That's married. He'll be
Oh.
shocked that you're not married and you have 3 kids already.
Old hag. Yeah, right. I'm an old hag by olden time standards.
You're 17 and not married? What's wrong with you?
A spinster.
She's a witch.
Though he still gives her the... these women not wearing skirts, or not wearing their dresses, it's going to take us some getting used to. It's not unpleasant, but it takes some getting used to.
That's getting your humors up, huh, buddy?
That would be... That's an immensely improper thing to say in front of a lady. And I am betrothed.
Oh, I feel so sorry for your betrothed then.
Says the man that fears to show his face.
It's called a helmet.
The men are wearing helmets, you can still see their faces.
Yeah, and they get hit in their faces.
You said tourist. You're one of those uncouth Yankees?
Sure.
We had one show up in court one time. It was horrible.
Oh yeah, I read about that. He basically brought a bunch of modern technology, and you all panicked because of that. Oh yeah. Show him a lighter and just flick it on. Ooh.
I suspect if he was not wearing a gauntlet, he would bite his thumb at you. He rolls his eyes. Well, I can at least tell some of you are peasants.
So are you gonna just surrender now, or are we gonna have to embarrass you guys more? Things are going great for us.
You have defeated some of my what would they have called their units back then? Oh well, you've defeated some of my men. I take it.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
Mildred.
actually.
Do what now?
And Mildred.
I trust she was not harmed.
She's alive and not dismembered in any way, but we did, she did get tied up.
Hmm. Oh well, I'll simply have to free her first thing once this bit of business he gestures towards Buckingham behind him is taken care of.
So, when were you guys overthrown exactly?
Well, no one legitimate has sat on the English throne since the Normans invaded.
And you've been bitter about that ever since.
Well, how long does one have to go before thieves aren't still thieves?
How about we just agree that you die mad on it?
Nope.
All
right.
I'm no therapist, but I suggest you let it go.
The
or
rocker
you're
steps
about
up.
to get your ass handed to you.
The rocker will step up. Everybody, not English. Shut up a minute.
All Yanks, zip it.
Yes, sir.
I look
This
at
has
the
now
rocker
become of
and say,
historical relevance.
That's not what we do.
Really, you learned nothing. He's past centuries.
He looks at you. Lad, are you the only... Well, how old are you? How old is the rocker?
He's kind of late teens, early 20s. Old enough to drink, and that's in England, so whatever. So yeah,
Well,
kind of
he'd be old enough to
20-ish.
drink. He'd be old enough to drink over here.
Yeah,
All right.
but
Uh,
20-ish.
But in that case, he would that's good and grown by the standard this guy's familiar with.
Yeah. I mean, Rocker looks kind of lanky, but
And Mordred is. I talk about them wheeling around. Mordred is. Well, he climbs down from his horse. I take it you are the. Are you the only native Englishman here?
Out of this group, yes.
But that is what I mean.
Now, I'm assuming you are wanting to take the place of the queen.
I have a legitimate claim to the throne, yes.
How
And
long
yet,
do
you snuck in here and just started rampaging.
It seemed like the quickest way to achieve what we wanted. And a lightning strike, there is less chance of harming the common people.
I'm not an expert, but I'm thinking if you lost the crown when the Normans invaded, the rules of finders keepers have asserted themselves.
The rocker turns around. Have you become British in the last 5 minutes?
I'm just saying. I'm trying to help here.
I think Whippet's not going to be able to resist laughing at that one.
I feel sorry for you, my good man. We had lured the Queen's Guard out. I can see that you've merely put together whatever ad hoc force you could. My sympathies, though I respect the attempt.
Now, sir, I want you to understand. Disestablishing the monarchy, I'm all about. Problem here is, you've broken a lot of rules that the common people agreed that we'd follow.
Is this going to go
Marching
into
through streets, breaking windows, that sort of thing is frowned upon. And
Who's
also,
breaking
you've murdered a
windows?
bunch of...
I will see to that. I will see that whatever merchants have that suffered that are given just recompense.
But you've also murdered men whose only jobs are to protect a location.
Unfortunately, in war, soldiers die. Whether they know the right or wrong of what their commanders do.
Yes. Great you know that. Have you ever heard of something called World War II?
In passing.
Congratulations. After that war, we established something called the Geneva Convention, which was what all civilized people, kind of a rule of war of to keep unnecessary deaths as low as possible. You've kind of broken those conventions. I have to step forward to stop you.
He's like, Geneva. Actually, I don't think Geneva would go back far enough for me to be familiar with it.
I want you to understand, I am not trying to stop you to save the Queen. I'm trying to stop you because you're following absolutely none of the rules the common people have set down and agreed upon.
The common people have their own sort of nobility. There is honor in what they do. But ruling is really a bit above them.
Punk, the rocker rushes him.
Oh, crossed the line.
Oh, you've said some people are above other people. That ain't punk rock. He's dashing for it.
The guy drops back, draws his sword in very quick motion. Brings his
That's
shield
fine.
up. Have at you then. And all of his men are, of course.
Yep. I'm fine with taking down the Queen. Oh, you've said some people are just better than other people. It's time to fight.
I need to excuse myself. Would anyone mind just kind of like remote controlling Whippet hopefully it won't be too long, but I need to
Okay,
excuse myself.
actually, it's 4 o'clock now. Do y'all want to wrap now and just pick this up next time?
I think I'd prefer that, or at least.
I'm good either way.
Tyler, do you have a preference?
I no longer have a preference because my shoutcasting gig at 5 o'clock has been canceled.
Oh, okay.
Zach?
I'm good either way.
Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap here then.
All right, thanks.
With the rocker dramatically charging towards Mordred.
I was kind of just.
Queen,
I was
she's a
kind of
little old
just waiting.
90-year-old lady. You're gonna, you're okay.
I was
with...
kind of just waiting for the moment he said some he shouldn't say for Rocker to just go
You
in.
knew it had to be coming.
I'll see you all.
Oh, see you later, man.
Take care, Mike.
See you, Mike.
See you.
But let's see, where was I? All right. So anyway, we'll wrap here. Hope y'all had fun. I enjoyed running it. Still not happy with how I'm doing the map, so I'm gonna keep experimenting with that. But anybody that comes by and watches later, hope you had fun. Hope you'll tune in 2 weeks when we do this again. We'll pick up here, find out a little bit more about who this guy is, where he comes from. Maybe go where he came from and have a talk with those people. It just depends on what the party wants to do. Again, I've been your GM for the day, Jason, and with me was Mike playing Whipette, Taylor playing the Rocker, Curtis playing Dojo Loach, and Zach playing the Boogeyman. And we will see you next time.
Bye.
Laters.